Buerki, the author of Living Without Fear and the co-publisher of the Amazon best-selling Inspire Journeys. Get in touch with me if you want to start living without fear, or writing your book, or order my self-help book on Amazon. And please share this podcast with a friend who you know needs to hear this episode. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you leave a review on your favorite podcast platform, this will help that many more people will find this episode. And if you stay until the end of this episode, you will hear about my special offer today. Today's episode is inspired by my younger son, who is 17 and who loves computer science and programming. He told me that he found out why he has been frustrated last night. I had felt his frustration and I asked him about it, but he told me to let him in peace, what I fully understood. But this morning, and I feel so grateful for this, he told me that he found out that he was expecting so much of him when he was writing a program. He wanted to show his teacher and he didn't reach the goal of his expectation. So very naturally he had felt frustrated because he couldn't finish the thing by last night. A thing he expected very much of himself. Does this sound familiar to you? Are you also frustrated sometimes because you didn't reach your goal with your duties at work or at home with your household, or the things you wanted to accomplish that day with your kids or your spouse or some other person? The day ends. It didn't have enough hours in it to get there where you wanted to be. What do you do in this case, I ask you? Do you just feel a kind of frustration popping up? Or do you start blaming yourself, as I did it in my past, because you didn't reach your goal? And I remember I always heavily blamed myself for not being so efficient I wanted to be. And when I was exhausted in the evening from work or from being a good mother for my kids, I started going down this negative spiral with my thoughts. I started jumping from one topic to the other where I didn't achieve my goals. And in my thoughts, I started telling myself, Esther, do you see? You never or rarely achieve your goals. You're not good enough. You always had been not good enough. And your parents and your teacher have told you this. But you always hoped to be better than what they saw in you. And it's a lie. You proved yourself today that you're not such a competent being you wanted to be. You're not that fast you wanted to be. You're not that smart you believed to be. And at the end of my self-talk, I felt so frustrated. Sometimes I was blaming the father of my kids, and early in life, before the kids, I started crying and went to bed with tears. When I was emotionally in a very dark place, I started asking myself, does this life make sense? Is there really a reason to continue my life, or wouldn't it be better to stop it? Do you see how your expectations can put you in a very awful state? Do you recognize how much your state is dependent on your expectations you have on yourself. Do you see that you can regulate yourself, how you feel about yourself? If you put your expectations always so high so that you can never meet them, you are often frustrated and feeling not good enough, or emotionally in a very, very bad state. But you might think now, if I put my expectations very low, I won't achieve anything in my life and I can never be proud of myself. I see what you mean. Of course, it's important to set goals in life and also for every day. But if you realize that at the end of the day, you're often feeling frustrated, I'm convinced that you set your expectations much too high so that you can never reach them. If this happens only a few times, and if it doesn't affect your whole emotional state, this isn't too bad. But even then, you could work with yourself and tell yourself that you didn't meet your expectations at the end of the day. So what? Is this so bad? Isn't there another day tomorrow? Or is it worth it to end this day with a frustrated feeling? Is it really worth it? Does it help you to achieve your goals the next day? Of course, not really. I bet the contrary is the case. When you go to bed in a beautiful state, happy and peaceful with yourself, you will most probably wake up in a nice state. And you will feel the needed energy and motivation to start your day and to see how you can meet your expectations and achieve your goals. And if you even ask yourself, can I achieve these goals? Or if I'm very honest with myself, I see clearly that they are way too high. Do you see how you can regulate your emotional state and control your thoughts so that you don't always have to feel being not good enough? And I tell you, it is this constant work we need to do with ourselves to be a good mother or father to our inner child. So watch out just for a day how you talk to yourself. Are you a good person to yourself, or do you make yourself small and feel not being good enough? And unfortunately, this inner work doesn't end someday. It's an ongoing process, a lifelong process. And that's what I also told my younger son today. I'm still working on this daily. Of course, the more I'm aware how I'm treating myself, the easier and quicker it gets to fix myself when I realize that there is frustration or feeling of not being good enough. So, I encourage you to listen to how you treat yourself daily and in every conscious moment of your life. And if you need more guidance, please order my book, Living Without Fear, on Amazon. And today I have something special for you. You might know that I love traveling and meeting people in other parts of the world, like India. If you love traveling too, but you're afraid to do it on your own, I have this special offer to come with me to Egypt for 1 week and enjoy the sun, meditate and journal and swim or work on a particular project or even start writing your book. This retreat is starting soon on February the 9th until February the 16th. Get in touch with me if you want to join me. The spots are limited and may be gone soon. And if you know someone who might be interested, I thank you for telling this person about this special offer. And there will be more offers of 2-week-long retreats in South India later this year. Check them out on my website. And thank you, dear listener, for being with me and spending your valuable time with me. In case you feel depressed and nobody seems to like you, I tell you, you are awesome, you're loving, and you matter. And please, please don't stop telling yourself these sentences to get them in your system. Have an amazing day and talk to you next week.